Hello? Someone there?
Okay, good morning, everyone. This regular meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Government Employees Retirement System for Thursday, October 26, 2023 is hereby called to order. Can I have a roll call, please, Mr. Dawson?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chairman. Trustee Nellen L. Bowery.
Present.
Trustee Bowery present. Trustee Andre Dorsey. Trustee Dorsey absent. Trustee Vincent Liger.
Present.
Trustee Liger present. Mr. Chairman, I would interrupt the roll call if I may to read a piece of correspondence regarding ex officio member Richardson.
Go ahead.
Yes, I received correspondence yesterday from Director Richardson that reads as follows. Dear CEO Dawson, this correspondence serves to notify you that I will be unable to attend the GERS board meeting scheduled to be held on Thursday, October 26, 2023. In my absence, Ms. Florine Ordain Hassel, Assistant Director, will attend on my behalf. Thank you for your understanding, and I look forward to the next scheduled meeting. Sincerely, Cindy L. Richardson, Director of the Division of Personnel. So with that, I take it we'll mark Director Richardson as excused.
Excuse, correct.
Director Richardson excused. Trustee Russell, Ronald E. Russell.
Present.
Trustee Russell present. Trustee Leona Smith.
Trustee Smith indicated that she will be unable to attend today's meeting, so mark her excuse as well.
Trustee Smith excused. Trustee Dwayne Callwood.
Present.
Trustee Callwood present. Mr. Chairman, we have 4 present, 1 absent, and 1 excused.
How many excuse?
I'm sorry, 2 excused. Well, I didn't count Director Richardson in the excused as ex officio.
Okay. All right, next item on the agenda, do we have any comments and suggestions from retirees?
Before we go on, Mr. Chairman, I have a question. I don't know if Attorney Williams is on the call.
Yes,
Do rules allow for a substitute for a board member who is absent?
The rules,
yes.
to the best of my knowledge, the rules do not provide for a substitute. For example, if you're absent, you cannot send somebody to attend in your place in terms of having a vote. The meetings are open to the public, so to the extent that you have a friend or colleague that you want to send to the meeting to observe, they can do that, but they certainly cannot participate and say, I'm speaking on behalf of Trustee Bowery or want to vote on behalf of Trustee Bowery.
So would that be the official status for the substitute for board member Richardson?
No.
Excuse
If that
me?
would be the
No.
if that be the official status for her, I mean,
Yeah,
she can.
meaning-
Well, again, when she's-
Meaning that she could sit in and listen, but she can't participate?
that's correct. And I think in the past, even though individuals have appeared on behalf of the Director of Personnel, I don't know that they've ever actively participated or attempted to participate. I think they're just basically observing or listening, to the best of my recollection.
Attorney Williams, this is Liger.
Yes.
In the sense that the person we're referring to is not a voting member, does it really matter?
For purposes of voting purposes, it does not.
So therefore, the person could send a substitute, because I would imagine the only members that shouldn't be able to send a representative would be the trustees.
No, I interpreted the question to anticipate maybe some level of participation in terms of the person having a say when trustees are discussing the issue or something like that. I mean, obviously, under no circumstances can Director Richardson or anybody on her behalf vote since she's ex officio. So I didn't even anticipate or take into consideration the question of vote. I interpreted the question as going towards the level of participation, unless Trustee Boyd wants to correct me.
No, I understand that there's no vote involved
Right.
one way or the other. But yeah, my question went towards participation in a board discussion.
Okay.
Up to and including executive session.
Well, executive is different.
Does that respond to your question, Trustee Boyd?
Yes, I understand it, but I'm not sure if the position is accepted by the board members, all the board members.
Since I've been on the board, there have been multiple occasions where Assistant Director Hassel has sat in on the meeting on behalf of Director Richardson, and she's never participated. So it's never been an issue. I don't anticipate it's going to be an issue today.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, I agree with you. It's never been an issue, but that doesn't mean that it couldn't be an issue in the future. Anyway, that's fine. I'm good.
Okay. Do we have any comments and suggestions from retirees? All right. Do we have any comments and suggestions from active members? We're hearing none. Let's move on to the secretary's minutes. Secretary's minutes. With respect to the minutes from the August 7th special meeting, are there any corrections or edits? Hearing none, can I have a motion to accept the minutes from the special meeting of August 7th, 2023?
I would move that motion. I would move that motion to accept the minutes. I have a emergency that came up, Mr. Chair. I have to leave. I'm sorry about that, but I have an emergency that and I'll move this acceptance of the minutes.
When you have to leave, what time?
It's after we accept these minutes, I'm gonna leave. Okay. I'm gonna try to come back on, but I have to leave. And I will take about an hour or an hour and a half.
Okay.
To deal with what I got to deal with. Okay.
Okay.
But I move. I move in that minutes, but I don't have to leave. It's okay. I'm sorry about it.
We have a motion on the floor to accept the August 7th, 2023 minutes, moved by Trustee Russell. Is there a second?
I second it.
Okay, moved by Trustee Russell, seconded by Trustee Bowery. Can I have a roll call, please, Mr. Dawson?
Yes, Trustee Bowery.
Yes.
Trustee Bowery, yes. Trustee Dorsey, absent. Trustee Liger.
Yes, although I wasn't at that meeting, but I will vote yes.
Trustee Liger, yes. Trustee Russell.
Yes.
Trustee Russell, yes. Trustee Smith, absent. Trustee Colwood.
Yes.
Trustee Colwood, yes. Mr. Chairman, 4 yes, 2 absent.
Okay, as Trustee Russell indicated, he has an emergency, he has to leave. So we're going to lose a quorum.
Yeah.
Trustee
My sincere apology, Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
my sincere apology to the members and everybody, okay?
Accepted
okay.
again.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Trustee Dorsey indicated that he was running late, so we're going to recess for 15 minutes. Hopefully we'll have a quorum we'll be able to reestablish a quorum by then. So this meeting stands in recess for 15 minutes.
so many communities are essentially paralyzed, trying to wait with it.
Talaga.
Waiting.
Yeah, I'm here.
Some kind of video, something in the background.
Oh, yes, yes. Let me put it off. I was listening to the news. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, all right. We're back on the record on item number 5 with respect to the minutes from the regular board meeting of August 24th, 2023. Are there any corrections or edits that need to be made to those minutes? Hearing none, can I get a motion to accept the minutes from the August 24th, 2023 regular board meeting?
So move.
Moved by trustee Dorsey. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Moved by trustee Dorsey, seconded by trustee Barry. Can I have a roll call, please, Mr. Dawson?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Trustee Bowery?
Yes.
Trustee Bowery, yes. Trustee Dorsey?
Yes.
Trustee Dorsey, yes. Trustee Liger?
Yes.
Trustee Liger, yes. Trustee Russell, absent at roll at count at vote. Trustee Smith, absent. Trustee Colwood.
Yes.
Trustee Colwood, yes. Mr. Chairman, 4 yea and 2 absent.
Thank you, Mr. Dawson. Next up, we have the minutes from the regular board meeting of September 28th, 2023. Are there any corrections or changes, edits that need to be made to the minutes? Hearing none, can I have a motion to accept the minutes from the September 28th, 2023 regular board meeting?
So move.
Moved by trustee Dorsey. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Moved by trustee Dorsey, seconded by trustee Bowery. Can I have a roll call, please, Mr. Dawson?
Yes. Trustee Bowery?
Yes.
Trustee Bowery, yes. Trustee Dorsey?
Yes.
Trustee Dorsey, yes. Trustee Liger?
Yes.
Trustee Liger, yes. Trustee Russell, absent at vote. Trustee Smith, absent. Trustee Colwood?
Yes.
Trustee Colwood, yes. Mr. Chairman, 4 yes, 2 absent.
Thank you. Mr. Dawson, do we have any communications or correspondences?
The only correspondence that we had is the correspondence that I've already read into the record from Director Richardson regarding her absence.
All right, thank you. Next item, item number 7, Chairman's report. I attended the groundbreaking for the Haven Development Project on October 20th, 2023. That concludes my report.
You want to announce it?
Next,
You want to announce the next item?
next item, the administrator's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, trustees and all in attendance, in person or remotely. I did not get to read the administrator's report of September 28th into the record in our last meeting, since it was, what shall I say, aborted, the regular session. So in a moment of personal privilege, if I may, I would like to just highlight 2 things from that report, and that would be to share with the Board of Trustees and all present that on August 31st, I did have my confirmation hearing before the Virgin Islands Legislature's Committee on Rules and Judiciary. And on September 2nd, I was in fact confirmed as administrator and CEO of the Government Employees Retirement System. So as I did at the legislature, I would like to thank the Board of Trustees for their confidence in me, and certainly pledge to continue working very hard on behalf of all the retirees of the Government Employees Retirement System and active employees as well. So with that, I'll proceed with the administrator's report for October 26th, 2023, which I do believe has been properly circulated. I'll begin with the meetings, presentations, and appearances since the last report, which I just extracted 2 items from. September 26th, I held a transition meeting with the General Counsel's office, given the retirement of Attorney Kathy Smith. Attorney Ishmael Myers has been designated by me as the acting General Counsel in the interim period. On September 27th, I attended a Haven Development meeting with regards to the Hampton by Hilton project at the Haven site mall property. September 28th, of course, we had the GERS Board of Trustees regular and executive meetings, even though, once again, the regular meeting was truncated. September 29th through October 4th, I attended the International Foundation of Employee Benefit Plans annual conference. Trustee Russell was present at that conference as well. And a few key employees attended also. October 11th, I participated in a V3 migration assessment session, the first of a series of such sessions that are occurring as we ramp up the update from version 8 to version 10 of the V3 platform. On October 11th, I had attended another Haven development meeting. On October 12th, I participated in the Governor's Workforce Summit 2023 as a moderator of the Preparing for the Future of Financial Services panel. October 17th, I conducted a direct reports meeting. October 17th, I conducted a meeting with various Haven site mall tenants to go over some issues that they wanted to discuss, along with key members of staff. October 18th, we had another Haven development meeting, which is typically a weekly meeting. October 19th, I met with the development committee chairman, Trustee Russell. I also on that day on St. Croix attended the viewing of the late Senator Alicia Hansen. And on October 20th, I participated in the groundbreaking ceremony of the Hampton by Hilton Hotel at the Haven site mall, which I must say was very well attended, very well covered by the press, and very well put together. I'd like to also thank Miss Asia Clendenin Gums for all of the work that she has done in the past and continues to do with regards to Haven development and the Haven site mall. So thank you, Ms. Gums. Continuing with the administrator's report, in terms of member services and retirement applications, in fiscal year 2023, we received a total of 220 retirement applications, of which 80 have been processed to date, leaving 140 that continue to be processed. So a completion rate thus far of 36%. In 2024, we have received thus far 11 applications. In fiscal 2024, 11 applications, all of which are presently being processed. In terms of contributions processing, refunds, as of present, we have, this is as of September 30th, we have 919 cases involving refunds, of which $9,852,107.43 have been refunded to date. The vast majority of those is related to employees who have left, non-vested employees who have left government service and were entitled to receive their contributions back. That totals some $8.8 million. In terms of death benefits in fiscal 2023, there were 43 death benefit cases that were completed for a total of $2,099,000. From the accounting department, we can give an update with regards to current biweekly annuity payments. For the period October 1st through October 15th, 2023, there was a cumulative dollar payout of $11.1 million, rounded. Most of those are service retirement annuities, which are at $10.9 million. The number of retirees added to the payroll from October 1st through October 15th, 2023 was 14. And those 14 were paid on October 15th, 2023, along with all the other annuitants. The number of employees that we expect will be placed on the payroll for the period or for the pay date of October 31st, 2023 is 10. And the number of retirees deleted from the payroll from October 1st through October 15th, 2023 is 16. Just as a note, the gross retiree payroll, as I indicated earlier in this section, has arrived at $11,138,306.80. In terms of disbursement by location, we have a total of 9,161 disbursements with the October 15th payroll, of which 1,698 were outside of the Virgin Islands and 7,463 were within the Virgin Islands. The vast majority of those continue to be paid by ACH at 9,161. And I may have misspoken. We had 9,499 disbursements, of which 9,161 were ACH and 338 were paid via check. So we continue to maintain a very good ACH payout rate. And I think some of those checks may be whatever leftover there is with regards to the Oriental Bank conversion from Scotia, where a number of our retirees needed to update their information. But I think for the most part, we've received all the information that we needed. In terms of the loan portfolio, we have, as of September 30th, 2023, 715 personal loans outstanding, of which 303 are for active employees and 412 are for retirees. And mortgages, there is a total of 49 mortgages in our portfolio. Altogether, the portfolio in terms of dollars stands at $7,838,617. Pivoting from loans to facilities, there are no issues to report this time from our St. Croix office complex, which continues to be very well maintained. I was there as recently as a couple of weeks ago. The St. Thomas office complex, we are doing some routine maintenance, in this case fixing of various potholes in the covered parking lot, and just some touch-up maintenance painting to the exterior of the facility. Other ongoing projects, as the trustees are aware, in the 2024 budget, we do have funds that have been allocated for the capital improvement project to the St. Thomas complex, most importantly to address some ADA compliance issues with regards to the lobby, atrium, and restroom. Contract was made with an architect in preparation to start that project in this fiscal year. The receptionist, which is the iPad-based application for logging entry and visits to the various departments and agencies within the GERS building on St. Thomas has been completed. And from what I understand, it's going quite well. And it's quite an improvement over the previous system, which required the maintenance of paper logs. Now everything is captured electronically upon entering the building. And this is important for all the divisions within the GRS building on St. Thomas, but might be particularly so for the Department of Justice, which does make regular requests for information that would be helpful for their purposes. So, Attorney Williams, well, maybe not Mr. Chairman, but Attorney Williams, I hope that they logged you in today when you came in, the receptionist.
Yeah, which is a pain.
It's a pain. It shouldn't be a pain the second time though, because you're already in the system.
Which is what he told me, but I had to go through the same thing again.
So you must have given wrong information.
Is that what it is?
Well, for everybody else except Attorney Williams is working quite well.
I was going to complain to Ms. Clendenin, but I decided to be nice today.
Okay, so once again, with the exception of Attorney Williams, the receptionist seems to be working quite well. Moving on to Havenside Mall, to facilitate, in the first instance, the construction project of the Hampton by Hilton Hotel, we are pending the demolition of warehouse 4A and 5, which cannot be executed until warehouse J, which is a new warehouse facility, is completed. The outer structure of warehouse J is essentially complete, but the inner construction is ongoing, nearing completion, and that's the addition of a mezzanine, since it's a 2-story facility, which maximizes the footprint of the property. Once the warehouse 4A and 5 are demolished, the Hampton by Hilton will be able to utilize that location for storage of materials, of which there's a substantial amount of materials coming in short order. And thereafter, of course, that is a space that becomes the green space and the park, public space that will be completed as part of the overall Hampton by Hilton project. So we look forward to the demolition of warehouse 4A and 5 so that it wouldn't be an impediment to the ongoing construction activities. Of course, we've mentioned, the chairman and myself, that we attended the groundbreaking of the hotel on October 20th, which was last Friday. So far, well, and as I've indicated in my administrator's report earlier, we have weekly project meetings on that construction. So far, 46 piles have been driven, and it's moving quite quickly as far as the pile driving is concerned. Unfortunately, I hope I don't put goat mouth on us, we have received no complaints from our tenants or from our neighbor Wyco, and these buildings are in fairly close proximity to the construction site, so that's really very fortunate that we haven't had any complaints. I was over there for a period last week before the groundbreaking, a few days before, and experienced for myself that the pile driving really isn't generating much. You can hear it, but it's not really excessive. So good work on the contractors there. The generator for Havenside Mall, of course, we know with WAPA's recent issues, was quite a topical issue for us with our tenants, because the legacy generator that Wyco operated generally only works for like a half hour and then it goes out. So we do have on site a brand new significantly sized generator that we cannot yet install because we're awaiting the permits for installation of the of the generator, as well as construction of the housing for the generator. We hope to have those, I would think, within short order. Ms. Glendon, I don't know if you have an update on the date that we can expect those
No,
permits.
we're still waiting on the CCM minor permit. So
Okay.
I've been in contact with DPNR's attorneys.
Right. Well, we've been promising and assuring our tenants that the generator, which is on site, by the end of the year, we certainly hope will be operational, so that if WAPA were to have any issues again in the future, which generally we can count on, we would be able to provide emergency backup power, because we do not want a situation in which every tenant, and we've had a number of requests, are putting in their own temporary generators. That would be unsightly and also not very environmentally safe to have all that exhaust. In terms of the Havenside Mall strategic and infrastructure plan, thanks to the Board of Trustees that approved that contract with a company by the name of Ideas, we've executed the contract, and we actually had the first kickoff meeting a couple of weeks ago. Had the kickoff meeting a couple of weeks ago. You can only kick off once, right? There's a series of sessions as part of the Ideas strategic planning for the Havenside Mall that are scheduled for the week of November 13th, and we're working right now on finalizing the list of potential invitees to that to those sessions. Still on the topic of Havenside, we do have the Havenside Mall waterline replacement and rehabilitation project. Drawings are in progress presently. The design criteria was sent to WAPA for comments, and the engineers requested a master water usage report as a part of this a study that's being conducted. With regards to office building rental and electricity collections for the GERS properties, which would be the St. Thomas complex and the St. Croix complex. As of the September 30th, we've shared information in the administrator's report, as well as an attachment to that report that shows that there was an arrearage of $68,762.84 as of September 30th. However, I'm happy to report that with recently received payments, that arrearage report would only reflect today an arrearage of $232 and some change. Well, $231.89. So our rental arrearage is essentially nil at this point. As far as new and renewal leases, the Division of Personnel is current with their payments, of course. We have a renewal lease that was finalized and signed by the governor. The new rate results in an additional $5,824.64 in monthly rental, including CAM charges that are effective on October 1st, that were effective on October 1st, 2022. So we've essentially gone from $13,189 per month to $19,014 per month with the Division of Personnel. The VI Police Department, that lease, there were some revisions made to the lease just last week, and we project that VIPD, specifically the records division, firearms, I'm sorry, records and firearms will be taking up tenancy on the ground floor here on St. Thomas by the beginning of January 2024. The Casino Control Commission, we're still working with them on their lease terms. I made some recommendations to Ms. Glendinnon with regards to what I would be willing to accept. She shared that with the commission, and they'll be circling back to us with their position. Department of Justice, as I indicated, we received our delinquent payments from them, and they're working on getting their act together for the new fiscal year. So I think that as far as rent is concerned, that is a success story at this point in terms of rental increases and rental collections. So with that, Mr. Chairman, that concludes the administrator's report.
Any questions for the administrator? Please. All right. Hearing none, let's move on to the committee reports. The investment committee met on Tuesday, October 24th, to get an update from our investment managers with regard to the performance of our portfolio, both with respect to our overall numbers for the fiscal year that just ended, October 1, as well as a few items that may affect the outlook moving forward. Trustee Russell had to leave. I know that the development committee met since our last meeting. Any other committee chairs? All right, Treasurer's report. Okay. Yes, Chairman.
I'll share my screen. Okay. Good morning, Board Chair, other trustees. This is the schedule of receipts and disbursement for the government employees system for the month ending September 30th, 2023. Receipt from collections, we collected $424,437 in loan repayment. Year to date, $6,818,598. Employee retirement contribution, we collected $7,364,506. Year to date, $101,098,022. Employee retirement contribution, $4,008,640. Year to date, $56,269,001. Miscellaneous, we had $252,113. Year to date, $5,018,406. Total collections for the month of September is $12,078,180. Year to date collection, $327,990,999. Our disbursement for the month, we have annuity payments of $25,395,952. Year to date, $281,274,133. Admin expenses for the month of September, $956,246. Year to date, $15,296,478. Refund of contributions, we had $1,303,293. Year to date refund, $12,644,203. Total disbursement for the month of September was $27,701,445. Year to date, $309,472,812. For a net cash deficit in September of $15,623,265, and a net cash surplus year to date of $18,518,187. We withdraw from the investment portfolio $130 million for fiscal year 2023, and our administrative expenses were 98% of the budget. For the Havenside Mall.
Before you go, I have a question. So this, when you say you withdrew $130 million from the portfolio, but we also added 158, right?
Correct.
I mean, so okay. So I mean, I guess it's technically true that you withdrew, but it sort of leave the impression that that the portfolio was reduced by that amount. I don't know if there's a
It
if you
was
could add. Yeah, that's what I said.
158 million up. We invested that, and we have to turn around and
Excuse me.
pull it
Yes, I
out.
understand. That's exactly my point. As I say, it's
Okay.
technically true. It's technically true that we withdrew it, but I don't know if we should add a line that said there's a net withdrawal or net something. I mean, it's kind of, if we leave it hanging there, it sort of leave the impression that that the portfolio was reduced by 130.
Excuse me, Trustee Borey, this is Henderson. You'll see that in my report coming up.
Yeah, I do see it, exactly. I know I don't see it, but I mean, I guess I'm just nitpicking there, but if you just read this on its own, and if you don't go on and read the other reports, it sort of sound like the portfolio was reduced by 130.
Well,
Well,
let me interject.
The same way we say that we withdrew the 130, we could also put a line that says we added 158.
But it's a part of your number, your year-to-date number at the top.
Exactly.
So it's there. It's
Well, in terms of the net effect, if I may, Mr. Chairman, and Trustee Bowery, appreciate the discussion. We can see that the net effect for the year of all the transactions, including the funding notice, that we had a net cash surplus of $18,518,000, which compared to the net cash deficit of $31 million at the end of the prior fiscal year would indicate a swing of almost $50 million.
Okay. I guess, as I said, there's nothing technically incorrect about what's there. It's just
Presentation?
Just the way it comes across. I mean, you just read that line that we withdrew 130.
And if I may, it was requested by the board, just what I have there. The board requested that line.
Yeah, and I'm not suggesting you move it. I'm just suggesting you add another line. Anyway.
Trustee Dorsey, I appreciate your feedback. I'll work with Trustee Bowery. I'm sorry, Trustee Bowery. I appreciate your feedback, and I'll work with Ms. Jeremiah as to how we could capture your point in the presentation.
Okay.
Thank you.
Point of information, Chair. I definitely agree with Trustee Bowery on adding the additional information. Just for the record, this information or this discussion came up before. I thought we did make that request, but apparently we did not make that request for that additional information in this section. So if we're going to do that, that would be great. So I appreciate the discussion. Thank you.
Yes, Trustee Dorsey.
Okay, Haven site schedule of receipts and disbursements for the month ending September 30th, 2023. We collected $310,164. Year-to-date collection, $5,141,367. We had expenses of $1,230,098 year-to-date. $5,881,686. We had a net deficit of $909,934 for the month of September and a net deficit of 740,319 year to date. Our year-to-date collection increased by 39% over last fiscal year-to-date collection. We expended 91%. It increased over last year, and our expenses were 73% of budget. That ends the reading of the schedule of receipts and disbursements. Jim.
Thank you, Ms. Jeremiah. Any questions, trustees?
Investment officer.
Okay, next item, the investment officer's report. Oh, wait. Can I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
So move.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, motion to accept the treasurer's report, moved by trustee Dorsey, seconded by trustee Bowery. Can I have a roll call, please?
Yes, trustee Bowery.
Yes.
Trustee Bowery, yes. Trustee Dorsey.
Yes.
Trustee Dorsey, yes. Trustee Liger.
Yes.
Trustee Liger, yes. Trustee Russell, absent. Trustee Smith, absent. Trustee Colwood.
Yes.
Trustee Colwood, yes. Mr. Chairman, 4 yes, 2 absent.
Thank you, Mr. Dawson. Next up, the investment officer's report.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, other trustees, and everyone in the listening audience. This is an update of the investment portfolio performance as of September 30th, 2023. To summarize activity for the month, global shares fell in September. U.S. equities declined as the prospect of a sustained period of high rates sank in with investors. Eurozone shares fell amid concerns over negative effects of interest rates on economic growth. Emerging markets underperformed as concerns that strength in the U.S. economy will keep interest rates higher for longer had a negative effect on overall risk appetite. Government bond yields peaked in September before slightly retreating at the end of the month. As it pertains to performance, and again, I remind you that our performance numbers includes local assets, excluding the member loans program and our office complexes. So for the month of September, the total plan return was down 3% for the month. Our total domestic equity portfolio return was down 4.7% for the month. Our total international equity portfolio returned negative 3.2%. Contributing to that performance, our developed market portfolio was down 3.4%. Our emerging market portfolio was down 2.7%. As it pertains to our fixed income portfolio, total domestic fixed income was down 1.6%. Total investment grade bonds was down 2.5%. Our TIPS portfolio was down also 1.8%. And our high yield bonds, which was the loan positive performer for the month, was up 1.3%. Our total alternative portfolio was down 1.3%. Fiscal year to date, the portfolio was up 6.2%. Total. What did that relate to in activity? So as of the end of September 30th, 2023, we ended the month at approximately 413.5 million. Again, this excludes our member loan program and our office complexes. We didn't raise any funds in the month of September. So if you look at the record of asset growth there in the middle, we begin the month at a market value of 446.8 million rounded. We had a net cash flow of about 20 million from the portfolio. We had a negative income of about 1 million. We had an unrealized loss in the portfolio of about 12 million rounded. which brought us to the ending market value of 413.5 million. If you look at the fiscal year to date column, we started the fiscal year to date at 355.2 million, rounded. We had a net cash flow of 27.8 million, and this comes into, I guess, Mr. Borey's question on the previous report. So we got that 158 million from the funding note in October. We saw those draws of 130 million. Well, actually, it's a little more than 130 million because it would include also what we paid for in management fees, which brought us to that net of 27.8 million. We had negative income of 4 million. We had a gain in the portfolio, unrealized gain in the portfolio of 34.7 million, which brought us to that ending market value of 413.5 million fiscal year to date, ending September 30th. As it pertains to fees, month to date, we paid 34,000. That consisted of 23,000 in investment management fees and 11,000 custodian bank fees. Calendar year to date, we've paid 288,000, and that comprised of 72,000 investment management fees, 141,000 in investment consultant fees, and 75,000 in custodian bank fees. And for fiscal year to date, we've paid a total of around 396,000. And that included 130,000 investment management fees, 177,000 investment consultant fees, and 89,000 custodian bank fees. Securities lending, month to date, we received $3,677. Those funds were reappropriated back into their respective portfolios. Year to date, we've earned $28,000. Fiscal year to date, we've earned about $31,000 from securities lending. Mr. Chairman, trustees, that ends my report, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Point of information, Chair. Mr. Henderson, the 12 million, what was that again? What exactly was that? 12 million loss, you said?
So this 12.2 million would be the unrealized loss from the investment activity for the month of September.
Okay.
So
you can break it down a little bit more.
So based on the activity for the month, our portfolio has lost value in the approximation of about $12 million.
So,
Mr. Henderson and Trustee Dorsey, if I may expand on Mr. Henderson's statement, the reason that it is characterized as unrealized is that, of course, in the investment portfolio, you may have stocks that, and in our case is based on index funds that fluctuate in value, but unless you actually sell the stock and realize a loss, it's an unrealized loss, and there's no expectation that we would be selling those stocks at this point. So it is unrealized. It's the natural fluctuation of the market. It's very important to point out, based on the investment committee meeting that was held this week, that the portfolio year to date is actually up by 8.5%.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, CEO. I was going there in reference to the index funds, and if in fact that's what it was, if we actually extracted that, so you cleared that up. So I appreciate that.
Right. So Mr. Henderson's report is focused on the month of September. We're looking not at any given month, but at the performance of the portfolio over a period of time, typically a year, and year to date, as I indicated, we are up 8.5%.
Correct.
That's correct.
Correct. And Trustee Dorsey, if you look at the fiscal year to date column, that's 34.
Mr. Henderson, fiscal
year, that's what I said. Yes, if you look at the fiscal year to date column, you'll see that 34.7 million. That constitutes that 8.5% that we were just speaking about, or that Administrator Dawson was just speaking about.
Okay. I appreciate that too.
You're welcome.
It makes sense now. Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Henderson? Hearing none, can I have a motion to accept the investment officer's report?
So move.
Can I get a second, please?
Second.
All right, moved by Trustee Dorsey, seconded by Trustee Russell. Trustee Bory. Can I have a roll call, please, Mr. Dawson?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Trustee Bory?
Yes.
Trustee Bory, yes. Trustee Dorsey?
Yes.
Trustee Dorsey, yes. Trustee Liger?
Yes.
Trustee Liger, yes. Trustee Russell, absent. Trustee Smith, absent. Trustee Colwood?
Yes.
Trustee Colwood, yes. Mr. Chairman, 4 yes, 2 absent.
All right, thank you. Can I have a motion to go into executive session?
Mr. Chairman, before the motion is entertained, may I indicate that the document that was slated on the agenda.
Okay. Let's go into executive session first.
Okay.
Can I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Bowery, could you read out the reason for going into executive session as stated on the agenda?
Okay, let me scroll back up for you.
This portion of the meeting will be closed to the public for matters pertaining to trade secrets or financial or commercial information or personal or legal matters or matters whose premature disclosure will frustrate the implementation of the proposed agency action. Moved by Trustee Bowery, seconded by Trustee Dorsey. Can I have a roll call, please, Mr. Dawson?
Yes, Trustee Bowery.
Yes.
Trustee Dorsey.
Yes.
Trustee Liger. Trustee Liger.
Yes.
Trustee Russell absent. Trustee Smith absent. Trustee Colwood.
Yes.
Trustee Colwood, yes.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, 4 yes, 2 absent.
Okay, let's take 1 minute so that we can clear out.
Angel, Shari came here and the board voted on what she discussed. I remember that. Right, and that's when they voted on the consent judgment. I mean, I know all those.
Okay. Well, okay, we're back in regular session. During executive session, the board discussed a pending legal matter. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion to adjourn moved by Trustee Bowery.
Second.
Can I get a second? Second by Trustee Dorsey. Have a roll call, please, Mr. Dawson.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Trustee Bowery.
Yes.
Trustee Bowery, yes. Trustee Dorsey.
Yes.
Trustee Dorsey, yes. Trustee Liger.
Yes.
Trustee Liger, yes. Trustee Russell, absent. Trustee Smith, absent. Trustee Colwood.
Yes.
Trustee Colwood, yes. Mr. Chairman, 4 yes, 2 absent.
All right, this meeting is hereby adjourned. Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
All right, have a good
Thank
day.
you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Could you forward me that October 3rd?